and we are back again this time on a Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Was it Wednesday morning, Thursday night? Sometimes I cannot get it right because of the hours that I have. Needless to say, it is a great day, and it is our hopes that you are having a phenomenal today as well. As for me, I got my computer back from the Geek Squad. Yeah, as you can tell, because we uploaded, we got that smoke with Minister Louis Farrakhan. Uh, so you all check that out tonight. The Making of a Devil. The Making of a Devil. Yeah, we're sitting here in the city of Chicago, and it's crazy out here in these streets. You got the National Guard here, which will be leaving soon. We don't want them here. Trump is pulling out. In fact, about it, Trump never even came to Chicago in regards to supporting the troops that he supposedly sent here to Chicago. But they will soon be leaving. And by the way, if this is your first time watching the show, I ask that you share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with, because it is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation. And today's conversation gets pretty raw. But before we get started with that, let's talk about these 38 congressmen who's retiring. Let's talk about the 38 congressmen who are retiring. And 7 of them, are assuming other positions or running for the positions. You have 5 that's in, what is it? Texas. Then you have New York, and you have 1 that's in Iowa. All Republicans except for 2. 2 Democrats, 2 Democrats are running for other positions, whereas you have 5 other Republicans that's running for different offices. But you have those members of Congress who are resigning. Is it due to age? Is it due to the Trump administration? Is it due to the injustices that is done to the citizens of America under the administration of Donald Trump? What do you think about that? When has there been a time in American history? When has there been a time in American history where you have this many congressmen resigning at the same time? At the same time. What is the politics of America coming to? Obviously, we see it well. We see the racism. We see the discrimination. We see DEI programs removed. We see Black history being erased from schools. We see books that are withheld again. You have material that has even been banned from the internet that is about Black history. Think about that. Is this the world that we're living in? A world of confusion, a world of anger, a world of racism and hate, a world that has gone mad, a world who hates Black people. But I guess some people hate white people too, because Charlie Kirk is dead. But we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get into all of that. But once again, before we get to that, has anybody seen those videos with Jamie Lee Curtis, who is being sued by Bank of America? Has anybody seen those videos in regards to Spike Lee and Bill Gates talking about how they can make X amount of dollars in an hour with 123 with a investment of $250? Have you seen those videos? Now, Jamie Lee Curtis is being sued, according to the reports, because she revealed some secrets. And sadly, the same secrets that she revealed, Spike Lee and Bill Gates revealed. And the question was asked, how do you get this money? They all said, if we reveal the secret, that means that all of these people who work in restaurants, who work in hardwares, who work in grocery stores, who work in schools, will not be working simply because they can pick up the phone, dial this number, and get some money after an hour. They say that the minimum investment is $250. And within 30 minutes, the $250 turn into $299 or $300. What do you all think about that? What other information is withheld from people who are workers, the blue collar workers of America, that keeps them from being financially stable? The secrets of the rich. The rich gets richer and the poor gets poor. What do you all think? But if Jamie Lee Curtis is being sued, Spike Lee should be being sued, and Bill Gates should also be being sued by Bank of America, according to the reports. Not with me. I just don't pull this information out of my backside. I actually research the material and bring it forth to you with a spin, with my own interpretation, and with facts, meaning that I bring receipts. It's not a hocus pocus story. It's not a hocus pocus live. And for all of you all that is in the live room right now, that's in the chat room on this LIVE, I want to say thank you for being here, because you could have been somewhere else with someone else doing something else. But you decided to stop here on the THEMOSHOW Chicago LIVE to see what we had to say, because we got some things to say. Okay. But anyways, for those of you who are coming back, I want to thank you and welcome you once again. Okay. We have this recent news. You know, it's like been a week ago since the Charlie Kirk thing. And 2 other days before, 2 men was lynched in the state of Mississippi. The first individual we talked about last night in our live in regards to Trey Reed. We want to send our condolences to that young man's family. And it is our hope that Benjamin Crump will bring some type of justice, will reveal some secrets about the investigation that we haven't received. Yeah, we want to see that information, don't you? Not only did Trey Reed get lynched at Delta University the other day, but there was also another individual that got lynched, and he was a white man. Yeah, that white man, Corey Zukakis. Corey Zukakis. 36 years old, lynched in Mississippi. The same day that Trey Reed was lynched. And according to the reports, here it is, you have, they were lynched or discovered to be lynched within an hour apart. You have Trey Reed, which was a black college student at Delta University, and you have this white man, Corey Zukatis, 36 years old. He's a homeless man. A homeless man. Lynched in the state of Mississippi. And they say that no foul play was involved. How does that happen? You have two men murdered within an hour of each other or being discovered. But they say that Trey Reed was discovered first. Now, if they are an hour apart, was it the same men who lynched Trey Reed? Is the same man who lynched Corey Zukatis? Or was it what they call a band of brothers? How does that work? And Corey Zukatis was found by American Casino. He was found by American Casino. Now, if you're homeless and you have experienced people being in the casinos that's homeless, most of the time they probably sleep there. We don't know if he was actually in the casino. We don't know that yet. We don't know if he was begging for money in the casino. We don't know why he was lynched, just like we don't know why Trey Reed was lynched. Now, I know many of you all out there will say that Trey Reed was probably lynched because he was a black man. How do you explain a white man being lynched in Mississippi? I did a live yesterday in regards to people being lynched because we was talking about Trey Reed and how no white man in the annals of American history really has been hung in that fashion, with the except of maybe John Brown, at least the information that I know. You may know some other information. But if you do have some other information, please share that with me. I am open-minded to your perspectives, to your thoughts, to your research. And me being a researcher myself, I understand that most people don't appreciate research that researchers do because many people don't think like researchers do. How many of you are researchers out there have many friends? I know that if you are working to be a historian or a researcher, that requires for you to have a lot of time to yourself. And you're focused on the material in which you're investigating. And a lot of material that you research or historical facts that you speak about, most average people don't have a conversation for you in regards to that which you've researched and worked so hard for. So that leaves you with very little friends or very little constituents that you can have a conversation with, whether it be families, It can be your sandbox girl or boy. But if they're not on the same track of mind that you are, distances comes into fact. And pretty soon you may not speak to them at all. They may become a fog in your memory, just like you may become a fog in their memory. Some people chasing money, some people chasing information. But how many historians and researchers do you know that die rather wealthy? Now, just from a personal standpoint, I know a lot of, no, I know a few. And when I say a few, I may mean maybe like 10, 20, 30, 40. Some personally, and some I have just involved myself into research in which the rabbit hole sent me down. Okay. However, I do know one thing. This Corey Zukatis did not hang himself. They didn't find any broken bones in his body as they did Trey Reed, which law enforcement denies that fact, and the coroner's office, the medical examiner. However, Trey Reed's family is going to have an outside medical examiner to confirm or to compare the findings that the initial coroner or medical examiner said this is not true or this is true in regards to the bones of Trey Reed. What do you think was the reason for this white man being lynched? Corey Zukatis. No one is talking about him. Not even the right wingers. Not even those supporters of Charlie Kirk. Not even the Groypers. Not even the Proud Boys. Not even the Proud Boys are not talking about the lynching of the white man, Corey Zukatis, in Mississippi. Did they lynch that man so that they can have a somewhat even playing field with the case that's going on with Trey Reed? Was the homeless man, Corey Zukatis, expendable for their agenda? You have to think about that. Not to mention the fact that Fox, one of their reporters or representatives, made a statement about homeless people being in jail or face lethal injection. Is this what they want to do to the homeless people? Are they trying to justify, meaning their agenda, to cover up, to sidestep your focus of mind or frame of thought from what happened to Trey Reed? Are they trying to give you a spinoff? I think so. And the sad part about it is that no one's seen anything in regards to the lynchings between the 1 hour of Trey Reed and Corey Zukatis. Is the lynching of Corey Zukatis less important than the lynching of Trey Reed? Is it? I don't think so. We like to deal with right versus wrong on this channel. We don't care what color you are in the crayon box. We don't care about that. We are beyond color. But people who help rule society that is involved with social engineering, they don't see a difference because they have another agenda and we're all the same. Shouts out to you, Emerson. We want to thank you, Emerson, for being here. Shouts out to Emerson, regardless of what city and state that you are from, or whatever country that you are from. We welcome you here to this LIVE on THEMOSHOW Chicago, where the execution of knowledge is power, but you also have to apply it. Okay? Thank you so much. I'm from America. Well, I'm from the big windy city, Chi-Town, Chirac, Concrete Jungle, the city of gangsters, where it's dangerous to walk the streets during the day and night. Okay? I don't know what city and state that you are from, Emerson, but I'm quite sure that you would not want to be living in the city of Chicago. And if you are already here, I tip my hat to you for maintaining a life of survival here in the big windy city. Even Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, is getting citizens to sign a protest, which he also signed against ICE and Donald Trump and the National Guard. Alexander Burton, shut up, y'all worship Jordan. Who is Jordan? Oh, Michael Jordan? Hey, Michael Jordan was born in New York. His family moved to North Carolina. And he eventually played for Chicago Bulls. Yes, he represented Chicago Bulls in basketball, but he does not represent black people. He doesn't even represent white people. He represents nobody but himself, which is Jordan. I'm not mad at him for that. We all have to make our own way. It's just that some people who have a lot of money don't have to deal with some of the situations and circumstances that we have to deal with in regards to people who are at the bottom of the ladder. Okay. But they say that Michael Jordan doesn't like rappers too, you know. He's against rappers. And he wants money for every photo that is taken with people. Not to say that people won't use his image, a picture with him, to make a come up. I understand that. But damn, man, how many millions of dollars have you made off of black people with Nike, which is not owned by black people? People say that, man, you know, it sounds like you may be trying to get into a color line. It's not a color line, it's just actual facts. Who is that out there? Emerson Cap. I love your glasses. Thank you very much, Emerson. I highly appreciate that. Last night I made a video and someone told me that I was wearing grandma glasses until I had to explain to them that these are transitional glasses. And they're custom made. I didn't get them out of a dollar store. I paid for these glasses with my sweat and blood. Okay? So I want to thank you, Emerson, for giving me a compliment on my glasses. But getting back to the conversation here, is there a difference between the lynching of Corey Zukatis and the lynching of Trey Reed. Is that a coincidence? Was it by design? Was it planned? That way to keep you confused and wondering. One young black man, one white young man. Okay? 36 is not an old young man. 36 is a young man. And he was white. Why was he lynched? Did he have dealings with black people? Did he have black friends? Did he have a black girlfriend? Now, just because you're homeless does not mean that you don't have a girlfriend. Whether she's black, white, Chinese, Puerto Rican, French, whatever. That doesn't mean that you don't have a girlfriend. Who is that out there? Alexander Burton. Some of theirs are worse. Just because you have money, you still have trials and tribulation. Yes, this is true, Alexander. Some say that the more money you have, the more problems you have. I can't say that's true. Give me about $5 million and I'll be able to tell you. Okay? More money, more problems. I say no money is more problems. Okay? No money is more problems. Emerson, is it okay if you're subscribed? Is it okay if you're no? I will most definitely subscribe to your channel. In fact, let me write this down. I got so many people to subscribe to. I just got my computer back. Emerson. I'm writing it down right now. Emerson. Emerson. Okay. I got you, Emerson. After this live, I promise that I will subscribe to your channel. I have so many people channels to subscribe to when I go to this community section of YouTube. I did not forget about you all. I have just got my computer repaired earlier today, which is the reason why you all have not seen any uploads. But last night, I uploaded another episode of We Got That Smoke with Minister Louis Farrakhan and the devil. So if you haven't checked out that video, make sure that you go check out that video on the upload section of this channel, okay? And like I said earlier, if you haven't pressed the subscribe button, please do so. Hit the notification bell and the word all to help ensure that you get notifications when we upload videos on YOUTUBE, and also press those condiments, the like and the share. Share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. I promise you that it is a great way to start your conversation, because we talk about positivity on this channel. We talk about right and wrong on this channel. We talk about religion on this channel. This channel initially was about Chicago's rap scene, but we gradually moved forward with a more positive production for the channel, for the masses of people, and not just a certain section of the people. I know that everybody listens to rap, whether you are Chinese, Japanese, whatever you want to be. But there are more serious things going on in the world besides rap music, which has, by the way, destroyed the black community. Hip hop is a different thing. That's a whole different era of music that was comprised of positivityness for the upliftment for all who listened to it. People say that it was just for black people. No, it came from black people. But it just wasn't for black people. It was for any and everybody that listened to it, just like rock and roll, just like country music. It's for everybody who listens to it. But country music, we're going to get to that in a minute because we're going to talk about this country singer called J.J. Lawhorn. We're going to get to that bozo in a minute. Emerson, how do you get do? What do you mean, how do I get do? What's XP? I don't understand that. Maybe you can help me out with that. I'm willing to answer any question that I can, but I have to understand what you're saying so that I don't answer it wrong or make an assumption of what it is that you're asking me to expound upon. Okay? Corey Zucatis. Would this be the norm? The lynching of homeless people? Will this be the norm? Cashmere, how long have you been homosexual? Come on, man. Ain't nobody homosexual on this channel. You just trolling out right now. And we thank you, Cashmere, too, for being in the live chat. But there's no homosexuals over here. We don't deal with that. Not that we have anything against homosexuals, but I myself am heterosexual, okay? I like women and women only. I don't like men. So whatever your reason is, trying to be a troll here on this live, man, you either have to be a positive participant, or just don't say nothing, man. Because we're not going to answer you if you're being negative. People who deal with negativity are on low vibrations, and we are on a higher vibrations. Yes, higher vibrations, plural with an S, because there's many energies out here. Some are positive and some are negative. All energies are not the same. However, you're either kinetic or non-kinetic. And we are kinetic over here, and you, Cashmere, too, with your negativity on a lower vibration, keep it to yourself, man, or go choke on a bone or something, We don't want that over here, okay? It's the glasses. What about the glasses? The glasses are DOPE. You can have your opinion, and I have my opinion. I paid my money for them, and they look great on my face, and I've received plenty of compliments. So it's the glasses, that's your opinion, and you are entitled to that. And I respect that. But however, don't bring that nonsense here. That is not welcome, but you are welcome, but your nonsense is not. I hope you understand that. Who is that? TY1 Eagle, facts. King and Surge, preach uncle. Randolph Mata, the higher vibration is crack. How do you feel that higher vibration is crack? Randolph Mata, are you saying that is a good thing because you crack atoms in your head? Is that what you mean? That is what I'm hoping that you mean. Cracking atoms in the BRAIN, which will allow you to have a further, what's the word I want to use? Euphoria of higher thinking. The euphoria of a higher thinking comes before the higher thinking. Just like when you smoke weed and you get high and you have that euphoria. But the euphoria that we're having when we're educating ourselves and are on a higher level of thinking, those atoms crack and the euphoria comes. And after that, that is when you expound upon your journey to a higher intelligence. What does your breath smell like? Who's that out there? Oh, Cashmere again. Cashmere too. What is with you, man? My breath smells like, I guess, everybody else's that don't have bad breath, just the normal breath. We eat food. Some of us drink coffee. Some of us drink tea, soda, but it is our hopes that many people brush their word instrument, meaning their mouth, brush their tongue after eating, or mouthwash, or have a search or something to refreshen themselves with their breath, especially if you're eating garlic or onions or stuff like that. But my breath smells just like yours if you haven't been drinking, if you haven't been doing drugs, if you haven't eaten garlic or onions or smoking cigarettes. Cigarettes stinks, man. Bad. Makes your breath smell bad, makes your clothes smell bad. So if you're one of those smelly people, Cashmere too, we don't smell like you, and nor does our breath. Does that answer your question? uh King and Surge, glasses, go hard, Uncle. Yeah, I know I got a lot of trolls here. That's okay. That's what we open up the doors to when you're being public. That's what you open your doors to when you have a live chat. You open yourself to good vibrations, and you open up yourself to bad vibrations. But those bad vibrations does not stand a chance against kinetic positive energy when you're focused. And we're not going to let Cashmere 2 defocus us from this LIVE. We're not going to do that. And once again, I want to send everybody shots out that's in the chat room tonight, because you could have been somewhere else with someone else doing something else. Okay? So we thank you and we tip our hat to you. Who we got here? Oh, okay. TY1 Eagle. Don't go down the foxholes. There is so many holes to go down in regards to people. We got two foxholes that we have no answers to, which is the death of Trey Reed and Corey Zukatis. But there's another foxhole that America is going down through right now, and that is the death of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk sadly was murdered a week ago. He was murdered a week ago. And so many people has lost their jobs, whether it be a blue collar job or a white collar job. People have lost their jobs because of the comments that they have made in regards to Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was not for humanity. Charlie Kirk was for right-winged white people. People say that he was a Christian and he had morals and he had family values. Hell, I myself even said that. But for all of you Christians that's out there, for all of you Christians that's out there, and I want you to listen to me good, because there's no color bar in religion, right? It's either you're in or you're out. You're with us or you're against us. Now, however, Charlie Kirk says that he was a Christian, but he didn't like black people. Are you really a Christian? How could you not like a black person who is Christian and you're a white man or a right winger like Charlie Kirk, whose religion that you believe in? Christianity originally formed in Ethiopia. Charlie Kirk studied Christianity, but he don't like black people, but he liked the religion in which they created or worshiped or fellowshipped in. Does that make any sense to you? Yeah, I had to cut off the air conditioner. Got a cold because my nose sometimes runs a little bit. Sorry about that, you all. But for all of those who are Christian, if there is no color in Christianity, how can Charlie Kirk says that he don't like black people. And everything that he said about black people was derogatory. Is that a true Christian? Is that being a true follower of Jesus Christ? To tear down another background of a person or another section of a people because they don't look like you? In fact, about it, if Charlie Kirk worships Jesus Christ, technically, Charlie Kirk would be worshiping a black man. Whew. Damn! Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Mo. That's right. Charlie Kirk would be worshiping a black man because Jesus ain't white. Jesus ain't white. I'm sorry for all of you Christian lovers out there who's got a white Jesus on your wall. And if you're a black man or a black woman in America and you have a white Jesus on your wall, meaning Charlie Kirk, you should have some respect for yourself and take it down. Do yourself a favor and take it down. Could you imagine walking into a house of a right winger who has a image of a black Jesus on their wall? Now, Father Flager here in Chicago gave it to Donald Trump. Father Flager, the Catholic father that has a church over there on 78th and Loomis, who actually is a priest and an activist, very well known in the community. And if you know about St. Sabinus, his church, you know that is right smack dead in the middle of the hood on the south side of Chicago. In fact, about it, when I was like in my 20s, me and my son stayed right across the street from St. Sabinus. That's right, me and my son. Mhm. Anyway, so Father Flager, I send my hats out to you. Now that's another Caucasian man who, from historical notes and going to his church years ago, because I stayed across a street and knowing history, I had to see what this guy was about. And according to aldermen, um, mayors, Minister Louis Farrakhan, and some other black leaders here in Chicago, they speak very highly of Father Flager. But not only that, he shows love to the people that's in the hood. The white priest, Father Flager. Okay. Who we got out there? I like butter and toast, but hold the bread using titles means nothing. I like that too. I'm going to stop back at your channel, but I have to go. Emerson, I want to thank you for participating. I know it's like what, 2:30 here. If you're on Central Time, if you're on the East Coast, it's 3:30, and if you're on the West Coast, it's like 1:30 a.m. But I thank you for being here, and everybody that's in the chat room, thank you. May you have a good rest tonight. Okay, so that you can wake up refreshed in the morning. We thank you for being here. Hope to see you again soon, Emerson. And by the way, for all of those who are watching, we will not have another live maybe until Saturday night. Okay, just to keep you posted. The earliest that we will have one is on a Friday, but we will not be here later on tomorrow morning at 1:30, 2:30, 2 o'clock. We will not be here. But we will be here Friday and Saturday. Got a lot of good stuff for you, even with the deer. Yes, DEER, deer. We got that coming up too. So stay tuned and make sure you all hit the subscribe button and the notification bell and that word all. But Charlie Kirk and the Christians. How many of you all out there think that Charlie Kirk was a true Christian? How many of you all think that Charlie Kirk was really a follower of Jesus Christ? How many of you all think that Charlie Kirk really was a godly man, was a righteous man? How many of you all really think that? What's that? Hood, Hood Cyclopedia. Have you all heard about the hangings? Yeah, I've heard about the hangings. That's exactly what we're talking about. That's how we actually started this conversation. Hood Cyclopedia. We want to thank you for being here. We tip our hat to you, and we sent shots out to Hood Cyclopedia. One in Alabama on campus. What? What's the brother name that who got hanged in Alabama? Who got lynched, hanged, or hung in Alabama? Hood Encyclopedia. Who was that? Trey was in Mississippi, man. Trey was not in Alabama. Trey was in Mississippi. Cleveland, Mississippi, not Alabama. Okay? I thought maybe I missed something. And I try to be on it all the time in regards to the news so that I can bring you all news. Okay? Some people watch the news. Some people watch social media. Some people just live life. But however you gather your information and it's put on the internet or on TV, and I go down that rabbit hole and I find it interesting for the masses of the people versus just for a section of the people, I will present it to you. My apologies. Jennifer Thompson, judge not lest you be judged. It's not our place to judge him on whether he was or whether or not he was not in our place. Nobody's judging anybody. We're just asking the question. He who is without sin, let him cast the first stone. So if no one can cast a stone, why was Charlie Kirk speaking the way that he was speaking? And why was those two young men hung in Mississippi? Trey Hood and Corey Zukatis. Can you tell me that? According to Donald Trump blames the death of Charlie Kirk on left extremists. What do you think? In fact about it, many people have a notion that the right-wing Republicans, the very same people whom Charlie Kirk helped get into office, are the ones that actually assassinated him. There are many thoughts on the street, and seeing that Tyler Robinson is not cooperating with law enforcement, whether they be state or local, we will just have to wait this out because we don't know. But I'm sure that his court date is going to be live coverage on news outlets, okay? And he's doing court at the end of the month. I think it's the 27th or the 29th of September. I'm not quite sure which date, but I know that it is one of those two dates. So research it for yourself and find out when is his court date so that you don't miss it. I'm sure that America will be watching because this is national news. It has gotten so national. Like I said, people even lost their jobs. Even late night talk host show, even late night talk show host, Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, sometimes you have some tongue twisters in there. He even got fired. Well, his show is suspended indefinitely, meaning that he got fired for the comments that he made about Charlie Kirk. Do people in America really have freedom of speech? I mean, here it is. We have a communication instrument, meaning tongue and mouth. so that you can communicate your words to people, whether it be good or bad, whether you agree with them or don't agree with them. We all have a mouth, we all have a tongue, and we all think differently. Just because we don't think the same or we disagree does not mean that we're enemies. And it does not mean that we have to saturate or, saturate another section of a people with derogatory comments, as in the case of Charlie Kirk. Jennifer Thompson, I can't speak on the hangings. I wasn't there. Although I think in this day and time, those things should not happen. And the fact that they happened were horrible. I agree with you. No one should suffer that type of degradation of death. Degradation of death. Degradation of death that these two men suffered. We're in 2025. We're not in 1866, 1867, after the Emancipation Proclamation, where the Ku Klux Klans were formed, after black people were freed in America to keep them in fear. Not today. It's sad that we have to live in the society in which we live in, not to mention the fact that the country is being ruled by demons. The devil. Now, if you think that any righteous work that Donald Trump has did and his administration, if you think that they have done some righteous causes over the last 8 months, could you please leave those righteous causes in the comment section of this live chat so that everybody can see how righteous or unrighteous that Donald Trump is doing in office? We don't need a rocket scientist, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out, especially when we're living in the legacy of Donald Trump, meaning the degradation of America, meaning the stripping power of America, meaning the racial wars that is coming and that is sanctioned by Donald Trump. Has anybody heard Donald Trump say anything about Trey Reed? Anybody? Anybody? Is the life of Trey Reed less important than Charlie Kirk? Is the life of Trey Reed less important than Charlie Kirk? Is the life of Corey Zukatis less valuable than Charlie Kirk? And he was a white man. Now, you have a lot of people out there who say that Charlie Kirk talked about Dr. Martin Luther King. And then they tried to compare Dr. Martin Luther King with Charlie Kirk or vice versa. You know how it went. But I'm going to tell you something. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Charlie Kirk only have two things in common. One is they spoke their mind, freedom of speech, and two, both of them was assassinated by a white man. Those two things Charlie Kirk and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. have in common, not to mention the fact that both of them had wives and both of them had children. We don't care if Dr. Martin Luther King cheated or not. Let's make it an even score. Dr. King was a Christian and he cheated on his wife. Charlie Kirk is a Christian and don't like black people. So let's leave it even on the scale with that. But that is never, they never can compare the two with the exception that both of them was assassinated by a white man. And they both were Christian. One on the left side, one on the right side. But they both suffered a horrible death. And with Dr. King, he was still alive after they shot him. But when they got to the hospital, they smothered him. I'm just saying. Y'all think about that, okay? Even with those two young men that lost their lives to racial inequality here in America. Racial inequality. Yet, they say that the founding fathers who wrote the Constitution said that all men are created equal. And the very same men that created the Constitution was birthed from the genetics of black people. But they considered black people to be 3/5 animals. And they treated us as such. And Charlie Kirk made sure that he propagated where black people should be at. Just like you have the Maga rapper. Forgiato Blow, yeah. Forgiato Blow, aka Kirk Jans, which is his real name, Kirk Jans, and the country singer JJ Lawhorn, who made a song about hang 'em high, talking about black people, hang them high. They said in their song, the only thing that you need is a big tree and a small rope. Hang them high for all of the sundown towns in America. Can you believe that? Kirk Jans, Forgiato Blow, said that he's tired of withholding his feelings. He's going to speak out on how he feels and how he's a Christian and how Jesus is coming back. Jesus, the real Jesus, did not deal on racial oppression. But however, if you go to the book of Matthew, Jesus tells the servants to obey their masters. But yet, at the same time, they paint Jesus as a revolutionary. Which one is it? Jesus, from my research, like 4 decades of research, maybe 5, Jesus didn't care about your color, and Jesus spoke against the government of the Romans. And that is what got Jesus killed. He spoke against the authoritative rule, meaning the Jews, the Pharisees, and the Sadducees. But then the Romans, he spoke against them too. The Romans at one time historically ruled the Jews, but the Jews still had commonality among themselves, and they too knew that they were under oppression, but they stood together. And when Jesus came along, Jesus told them all about their wrong, all of them, a threat and an enemy to not only the Pharisees and the Jews, but also the Romans. This wasn't the case. Charlie Kirk. So Charlie Kirk Was it not bad standings with the Jews? I'm just saying. Nor was he in bad standing with the right wingers like Nick Fuentes is. I spoke about Nick Fuentes in another video. And if you all don't know who Nick Fuentes is the leader of the Groypers, Groypers. He got a little bit jealous of old Charlie there. What's that, Jennifer? I don't speak on the hangings the fact that they were horrible. Captain Richard Skin, they would eat their own if they needed to. Wow. Damn. Shouts out to Captain Richard Skin. Fruit thinker. What do you think about Jimmy Kimmel getting fired? Jimmy Kimmel got fired because of his freedom of speech. I don't understand, why is this Charlie Kirk guy so important? Is Charlie Kirk more important than some presidents? Is Charlie Kirk more important than some congressman or congresswoman? Is Charlie Kirk more important than senators? I'm just saying. I know that there has been a few people in Congress that have died over the past couple of years, and they've never received the attention that Charlie Kirk has gotten. Maybe it's because he wasn't assassinated, nor did they speak the rant that Charlie Kirk has spoken. But JJ Lawhorn and Forgiato Blow has no reason to write the song that they made entitled Hang 'em High to present a racial war. I don't understand why white people, Caucasians of this country, white males who are the number one domestic terrorists in this country, want a race war. They are just waiting for the moment to do so. The evilness, the devilishness, devil, the mischievousness. Yeah, mischievous. Sometimes I get a little twist up here. Devilishness. Why do they do it? That this is their culture because they're Christians. Is Christianity a culture of hate? Is Christianity a culture of bigotry? And if Jesus ever do come back, are they expecting a white man, a black man? And if he's a white man, is he supposed to oppress everybody else that's not white? I'm just saying. Because from the looks of it, that's what it is to me. From Charlie Kirk point of view, and from Nick Fuentes point of view, and from Kirk Jans, aka Viaggio Flo, and JJ Lawhorn. Do you think that the Maga rapper, Viaggio Flo, and the country singer, JJ Lawhorn should be banned? Do you think they should be banned if they have contracts with record labels? Do you think that their music should be taken down off of social media? Because Jimmy Kimmel is indefinitely suspended for his God-given right, which is freedom of speech. Who's that out there? Was that Captain? Was that Captain Skin? Oh, that was Free Thinker. Free Thinker. I think that is horrible that they fired or suspended Jimmy Kimmel's show indefinitely. I think that is a shame. I think that is horrible. He did give out good information. He had good jokes. And he kept you up on current events. Some like a latter Johnny Carson. Okay? And just for saying what he said, he got his TV show taken away from him. Damn. What do you think about that, free thinker? Let me know. What do you think about that? Kirk is alive. Kirk is alive. Y'all mean to tell me that Charlie Kirk pulled a Machiavelli? Is that what you saying? You all, hold on 1 minute. Are you saying that Charlie Kirk pulled a Machiavelli? Charlie Kirk is still alive. Charlie Kirk is alive just like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is alive. They're both DEAD. Now, if it is a hoax, America most definitely would be in an uproar. After all of the visual services that they've held for Charlie Kirk, after all of the supporters have spoke out on Charlie Kirk's behalf, and how some say J.D. Vance really don't like him no way. It's all just, a show. Some people even say that they use Charlie Kirk as long as they can use him. But after that, you got to go. They'll use you to the point that they can no longer use you. And then they'll get rid of you. That sounds like Charlie Kirk, in a sense, was a black man and a black woman in America, because white America don't have time or have no place, according to Charlie Kirk and all of those right wingers. They don't have nothing for black people. They don't have nothing for black people. While you all are out here in the world, in America, be careful whatever city and state that you're from. Now, I know that, you always have these old white women, if you were in the mall or something, you get on the escalator, or if you are in a building downtown and you have to get on the elevator with them, elevator and escalator, they always tend to hold their purse and look at you. Well, maybe black America should be looking at white folks right now and all of the evilness that they have in their heart, hatred in their heart, and the devilish mint that they have on their mind to do to black America. Look at the woman down in Florida spitting on the little black girl. Yeah, the white lady. Y'all heard that there? I'm sure y'all heard that story. You haven't watched that video yet? Go watch it. Just think, a senior citizen, white woman, harasses and spits on young black children in Florida. In 2025, this didn't happen last year. This happened this year, okay? Not yesterday, but just a couple of months ago. Maybe about 2 or 3 months ago. But this is the reality in which we're dealing with in America. Who we got out there? So you're gay? I don't know nothing about that. More to come from this gangster organization. It is a gangster organization. Even the government is a gangster organization. It's all gangster. It's all organized. And as for the future of black people, you must remember that this gangster organization had over a 300-year start on you. A 300-year start on you. See, the whole system, according to people that I've spoken to and some of the articles that I've seen and some of the videos that I've seen, the whole system needs a rehaul. And we as people here in America need to rehaul our thinking. If you are a viewer or participant that's out there in the chat room and you raise your child to be a bigot, you are an unrighteous person. Jesus Christ, you see what I mean? Will Jesus Christ do that? Will Jesus Christ tell you that? Will the followers of Jesus Christ tell you that? Because all of his followers, meaning his main disciples, his main disciples, because he had a lot of followers, but his disciples ended up the way that he did. Then none of them lived to old age. All of them died in their youth, no older than 60 years old. All of them died before 60. And here it is, you say that you're a Christian, but yet you walking around here spreading racial hate. Racial hate. Spreading bigotry. Spreading antagonist words and doing antagonistic things to start what they call a race war. There's only one race, and that's the human race, okay? But this society has their own programming of how they program people. But it is only when you unprogram yourself from this programming that you have been indoctrinated into, it is only then when you become a free thinker. Isn't that right, free thinker that's in the chat room? I do believe anyone that speaks against Trump, they're silenced. Yeah, they're silenced. Do you know how many Democrats he's coming after? And he's a gangster. And he don't care if he breaks the rules. Had it not been for the Supreme Court, which is in his pocket, okay? But some things they actually stopped, which was a good thing because not only is Donald Trump treading upon the Constitution in what's the word I want to use? He violated the Constitution with the things that he's doing, the executive orders that he's making. He's violating the Constitution and he's violating the citizens of America as people. Look, check this out. You don't need a Constitution to tell me that you're a human being. You don't need the Constitution to tell me to treat you right as a person. You don't need a Constitution for that. Just think if we didn't even have a Constitution, what would America be like? Well, if you're white, I guess you'll see it one way, seeing that they stole heaven. They took heaven by force. And all of those who were booty of the war, they became slaves. And we're still here today, dealing with slavery, dealing with racism, dealing with bigotry. But like I say, it has gotten so ugly that the right wingers are fighting among themselves. Sorry about that. It's been a long day. But right wingers are even having a fight among themselves. So if they're fighting among themselves and you're not a part of the club, think about what's happening to the people that's not in the club, that they're willing to do constitutional harm to, meaning violate them, okay? In whatever way that they can. You're so ignorant. You aren't worth listening to. Goodbye. Well, goodbye, Mike. Have a good night. The God hand dimension. Why are you spreading lies? There was no foul play involved. We didn't say, I already said that there was no foul play. You need to go back and watch my video that I did last night. I'm not spreading any lies. I didn't say anything wrong. And I'm not going to let you try to convince me that I said something wrong when I know that I didn't. Versus you being a part-time subscriber or a part-time viewer, why don't you just become a full-time subscriber and press the notification bell? And that way, you won't miss information when I upload it on YouTube. So you would have heard last night that I said that there was no foul play. But yet still, we know that there's foul play involved, okay? We're not stupid out here. And if you, as a person, just believe everything that you read or hear on the television without doing any research for yourself or investigating for yourself and just taking it as is, you are ignorant. It's a programming, okay? Who we got here? A gay blue gum. Crazy. 13th Amendment changed that eagle. Yeah, you're only a slave until you go to prison or jail. All them gay blue gums. Okay. Another troll. Another dingaling. Another douchebag. All of you trolls that's out there are douchebags. I just want you to know. You're a douchebag. So go clean yourself. Okay. You're too stinky for righteous people. You're too stinky for free thinking people. You're too stinky for people who are not biased. You are too stinky for people who don't spread bigotry. Yeah. So what's your name? Step bro? Step off. And we say that nicely, okay? Step the fuck off. So the men that did speak their mind, but they were both doing wrong. You cannot be good doing wrong and expect it to go right. It is a compromise. Hey, you have bad things that happen to good people, and you have good things that happen to bad people. I mean, it goes both ways. When there's good, evil is right around the corner. When there is good, evil is right around the corner. So this is the world in which we are caught in based upon how we were reared, taught, and programmed in this country to be. Is it natural for man to hate man? Is that a natural thing? That's a good question for you all. Is it a natural thing for man just, for man to just want to kill man? You are breaking up. Alexander Burden, hi. Alexander Burden, Charlie was just love. That is why. New OPP pack in the air. This Kirk or what? He still be alive if he had shut the fuck up. How many of y'all think like that? How many of y'all think that Charlie Kirk would have been alive if he had just kept his mouth closed? Mikey 4868, you may have a great point there. Mikey 4868 just made a good point to everybody that's out there in the chat room. If Charlie Kirk would have kept his mouth closed, would he still be alive? I would say yes. I would say yes. But Charlie Kirk went beyond that which he was supposed to go. Just from my research and from what other People say who love Charlie, who loved Charlie. I speak to those people too. Live all around him. They said that Charlie Kirk was going for or to be a political opportunist, meaning that he was working to gain public office in the White House some kind of way. That's what they say. And those are his followers. Those are people that loved him. That also comes from people who don't like Charlie. So people who don't like Charlie and people who do like Charlie said the same thing. And we both agree that Charlie would be alive if Charlie would just have kept his mouth closed. Black Wolf, freedom of speech is a great thing. Black Wolf, murder is wrong. If murder is wrong, Black Wolf, and shouts out to you, Black Wolf. If murder is wrong, why does it still continue to be committed? Are we that sick of a people that we don't even value the life that God gave us? We have devalued our own selves to become wicked people. And if the person who is programming you or the person who is in rule of things that is educating you in an unrighteous matter, in an oppressive matter, then you too become wicked, don't you think? We were born in sin. Everybody was, including Charlie, including Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Louis Farrakhan, John Henry Clark, Francis Cress Welsing, Benjamin Hockinen, Walter Williams, and so forth, and so forth. John Brown, and so forth. We all are born in wickedness because of the programming and the demonic rule in which we're living in. It's that simple. As I always state, this world, this society is a prison for the righteous. It's just that simple. Black Wolf, Jimmy Kimmel was never funny. Christian Spire, Jimmy sucked. Black Wolf, this guy is misinformed. Christian, I'm out. I'm not a Christian. When you wake up to the truth of the matter, and when you do a lot of research, you will understand what a Christian is. And so far, what I've saw, Charlie Kirk wasn't a Christian. And neither are any of those right-wing people. But however they are, seeing that they are white supremacy and Christianity, the new version after the Council of Nicaea and after the Council of Chalcedon and after the Council of Ephesus, Christianity became white supremacy. Now you can take that or leave it. I'm just, if you're not dealing with no history, real history, like I just mentioned, be quiet, okay? Don't make yourself look bad, because that you will do, especially when you're trying to educate me on Christianity. You have all of these Christians out there, and many of them don't even know when Christianity began. They don't even know when the Bible was written or when the King James Version was authorized. So please, by all means, you're not speaking to an idiot or a moron here. You're talking to a well-educated, round, knowledgeable guy who knows what he's talking about. If I didn't know what I was talking about, I wouldn't be speaking it. That's when you look like an idiot. That's when you look like a moron. For all of you people that's out there, antagonists, trolls, whatever you want to be, the real Spoonie This is not true at all. What's not true? What an idiot. Watch your tongue. Uh, Crazy world. Read Genesis. Yes, it's natural, not godly. Genesis. Okay. Crazy world. Genesis. The root word of Genesis is genes, right? So in the beginning, well, the Garden of Paradise was, which is somewhere around Ethiopia. Because how many rivers watered the Garden of Eden? The Tigris, the Euphrates. Damn, two more rivers. But they're all over there in the east. But the Tigris and the Euphrates are the main ones. Yeah, you go back and read Genesis, okay? And tell me what the Garden of Eden is. It is already written. These things must happen. They will come to pass. Yes, God has already spoken to Chicago. You didn't listen. You choose to ignore him. Hell, not only Chicago, but the whole world. And the world isn't ruled by righteous people. The world is ruled by evil people, right? This is why we have all of this mischievousness. This is why we have all of these beastly acts that takes place. Just like those two black men that were hung, the two men, one black, one white, that was hung there in Mississippi. Are you a Christian? Doesn't matter. He's convincing himself. You ask if murder is natural. Yeah, is murder natural, man? It's not. Where did you go? It's not, it's not, I don't know where my face went. I hit a button and something went wrong here. What's that? Oh, no. I don't know what happened, you all. Whew. What button did I hit? Show the live. There we go. We back. Hey, we hit the right button. Hey, we hit the right button. I thought we were gone here. You asked if murder is natural. Is it? Is it natural for a person to wake up every day and wanted to kill another human being just because they look different in the form of skin color? Not to mention the fact that all of these white folks that's running around on the planet came from black people. All of the people on the planet Earth were birthed from black people. That's an actual fact. That's not up for debate. Only a moron would think differently. According to genetics, the book of Genesis. I'm just saying. So are you a Christian? Should be the question. Are you one of those false flaggers? Are you one of those JJ Lawhorns? Are you one of those Forgiato blows? Kirk Jans. Are you one of those people? If you are, we don't salute you. But we do hope that you come to some sense of righteousness so that you can help people who want to live in a peaceful world live in a peaceful world regardless to sex, creed, color, or race. Think about that. And speaking of race, you should race yourself right on over to my other channel after watching this video, MOPOWERZ here on YOUTUBE, and check out the audiobook series that we left for you all, Stolen Legacy, Black Man of the Nile and His Family, The Message to the Black Man in America, The Destruction of Black Civilization, The Chronological Order from Alchemy to Wicca, The Demonology of King James as a Man Thinketh, From Babylon to Timbuktu, which I put my foot in, The Miseducation of the Negro, The World Crucified, 16 Saviors. And while you're still on that channel, go travel with us to the Grand Canyon. Travel with us to the Mopop Museum. Travel with us to Jimi Hendrix gravesite. Travel with us to Bruce Lee gravesite. Travel with us to the Georgia Guidestones. Travel with us to York, Maine, to Miami, to Boston, Massachusetts, just Massachusetts, period, where we visited the NBA Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. Take a ride with us to Ohio, where we will explore the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah. Travel with us on the other side of Ohio to the NFL Hall of Fame. Travel with us to Louisiana. Yeah. Travel with us to Florida. Travel with us to Kansas. Travel with us to Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Greenwood District. Take that ride with us. Seeing that you're on that channel, race yourself over there to MOPOWERZ. And if you are into Chicago old school music, hip hop, R&B, spoken word, independent movies, Chicago street clips, go over to my last channel, THEMOSHOW Classics, all one word, no space, here on YOUTUBE, and find the likes of Twister, Shauna, Dion Cole, Diane Porter, Reggie Reg, Quintella, Daryl Banks, Shari, Official Business, Affiliated Fellas, Mecca, Big Tads, The Nomads, Mano, Killer Bloodline, and Dub, Illa Flows, Jay Valentino, Galactic Boy Entertainment, excuse me, and a whole lot of other people. Get yourself over there. Race to that channel as well. THEMOSHOW Classics. One word, no space here on YOUTUBE. And on your way out the door, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and the word all to help ensure that you get notifications when we upload videos on YOUTUBE. Hold on for a minute, I need some water. Water does you some justice. Doesn't my voice sound a lot better? But get yourself over there. Subscribe, like, and share. Okay, subscribe, like, and share. Share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your CONVERSATION. Thanks for viewing, you all. Peace out. Never give up on your DREAMS. And that's my time. We will see you all Friday night. Peace out.